Hey, viewers and viewers, my name is General Red Strategist, and welcome back to another round of Sir Being Hunted, episode 523 now. So, Phil's joining me once again by Skype. In fact, actually, we're recording this straight after the last one, aren't we, Phil?
Howdy doo-doos.
There he is. Howdy doo-doos, he says. Yes.
I'm back again for another episode.
Indeed he is. Yeah.
How many more episodes do you want, viewers, of Sir Being Hunted? Well,
well, depends on how long it takes to get Reinvented Edition out, and then we'll be transferring over to that. Yes.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. That's still in the works, isn't it? At the moment.
It is. Indeed.
Still ongoing.
Yeah. No more news on that just yet. I'm sure Den of Thieves are beavering away to get it into a good shape. So yeah, just another podcast-style episode then for today, and. God, before we actually started recording this episode, me and Phil, we were just having a conversation. Phil, apparently your relative of yours has just been, has just had a knee operation recently, and is just recovering and recuperating at present.
Yes, it's my dad. Yeah, he's just trying to do a little walks with these on crutches, just to try and ease his knee, and do a few walks on it, just to, because I think the physiotherapist has said you need to do that just to keep going. So he's got some exercises.
Indeed.
And it gets his knee back in gear after he's had an operation on it.
Yeah. But that's when you mentioned that just got me thinking about a kind of topic, which namely is about it's kind of going back to your childhood again. Do you ever have like hospital visits as a kid? You ever find yourself in hospital with anything? Because I remember actually as a kid I once did have to have a stay in hospital at one time.
Oh.
Yes. I can't remember how old I was at the time. I was in primary school. It was when I had my first asthma attack. It's funny because I don't actually even remember this asthma attack when it happened. Oh God, I've got stuck on a fence. Hold on, just gonna have to load my last save to get me back in.
Oh dear,
that sometimes happens.
You got a bit caught, did you?
Yes, I did.
Maybe that would be pretty nasty.
That would be a nasty place to have barbed wire stuck in, Phil. Yeah. Good Lord, yes. But as I was saying, hospital visits. When I was a kid, I remember going in because I had an asthma attack. Like I say, it's just weird because I don't actually remember the asthma attack itself. I have no memory of it. And yet I do sort of very vaguely remember being in hospital. I think it was a hospital in Lancaster, if I remember correctly. And
right.
It's just one of those things, because hospitals, it's like they're always obviously very sort of white, very clinical places.
They are. But, yes, they've got that.
Yeah, I just
a weird place to be.
Yeah, I just remember obviously as a kid, because. Just the sort of strain and the stress obviously my parents would have obviously gone through, because the thing was I remember my mother had to basically stay in the hospital with me because I was so young, so basically she had to sleep just on a mattress on the floor next to my hospital bed.
Because while you were in the bed.
Yeah. But I remember one night being really restless and basically falling out the bed on top of her.
You're like, wee, hello, mummy. Thank you for being my cushion.
Yeah, my poor old mother. I think she was so tired by the end of it.
I
know. I was there for several days, and but God, I know that was quite something. That was.
They're interesting hospital visits. Yeah. I think I've been in once when I had. What are they called? Adenoids.
Yeah.
Taken out, which I think are little things that get stuck in your ear.
Oof, yeah.
And I had to go into hospital and stay in there, and it was a weird experience lying in the hospital bed.
Yeah.
I think my mum. Was it just my mum? Or might have been both my mum and my dad. I can't quite remember.
Yeah.
But I was in there. I've also had two experiences where I went in, but I wasn't in there for long. Where I dislocated my toe and fractured my ankle, and both related to football.
I see. Yeah.
The first one, where I dislocated my toe, I accidentally tackled from behind, which you never do, and stamped right through.
Ouch.
And the funny thing was, I noticed my toe looked really funny, so I called my mum, who was down because they had a horse, and she was just down the horse, and I rung my mum and said, "Mum, I think I've broken my toe."
Yeah.
And she was like, "Oh, he's been silly." My mum was thinking, "He's just been silly. I'll come back home soon. We'll have some tea and we'll just take a look."
Yeah.
So she came back, thought it was just going to be a simple little, bruise. She took my sock off and looked at my toe and went, "Oh, bugger."
Yeah. So
we had to go into A&E, get it sorted, and they popped it back into place.
Yeah.
They put me on laughing gas, which was a really weird experience.
Really?
Now, I've never been drunk, but apparently the experience of being on laughing gas is quite similar to being drunk.
Yeah.
So
indeed. Yeah.
And then I also fractured my ankle, where they had to reset the and put my ankle in a sort of cast.
Yeah.
So I had to be in a cast for a good few weeks or so.
Yeah. Barring that one experience with my asthma attack when I was just a kid, I think the only other time I've ever had to go into a hospital like myself for something was when I was working at Boots, and it was when I sort of actually slashed my little finger on my right hand on something. I don't even know what it was I cut it on, but it was like quite a deep cut, so I basically had to go to A&E just to check that it wasn't like super serious. I mean, it wasn't, but basically they just said, we're not going to give you stitches for it because it will mend itself, just keep it obviously wrapped up.
Did they have to do some cleaning after you? Because obviously if you've been bleeding in approximation to food,
they did have to do some cleaning. Yeah, they did, which was not fortunate, but it's weird because like my manager was like, what did you cut yourself on? Because obviously we'll need to check it and make sure it's safe. And I was like, I honestly don't know. I actually don't know what I cut myself on, because literally I didn't even feel it. It was funny because like the actual cut itself I didn't feel it until like a good kind of few seconds afterwards, when I started to feel like a throbbing, and then I was like, what the fuck? I like what is causing that? And then I realised my finger was bleeding, and I was like, oh, okay. It was really surprising. Yeah,
that's good, because there'd be some people who'd be like panicking and screaming their head off. Oh, what have I done here?
Indeed. I know, but it was just like so weird. But yeah, I mean, I know like hospital visits I've had when I've had relatives in hospital, and you go during visiting hours and all that.
Yes, I've had that. My granddad, I've had to go see that. My granddad and grandma. I asked my dad actually, who went in because obviously something that's very notorious and not very good is hospital food.
Oh yes.
Yes, got a reputation, like airplane food, which has also got a reputation.
Indeed.
So I asked my dad, and he said it was absolutely lovely.
So
really, really tasty.
I guess it depends if you're lucky in terms of who's in the hospital kitchen that day when you go in. Is it the chef who really likes to make something interesting, or is it just the cook who's there just to earn a wage?
You also must think, because it's hospital, it will be decently healthy food as well. So you're not just going to get some crap. They're not just going to serve you up like a burger and chips. You'll probably, I think what you mostly get is like some form of meat, potatoes, and some veg. They'll
give you basically something that's probably got a good balance of stuff. Good balance of like carbs and protein and vitamins and whatever else. Since it is a hospital. In other words, probably the sort of meal that you don't necessarily kind of something that's not necessarily comfort food, to put it that way, but which is designed to be nutritious and decent enough.
Funny thing was, they obviously given my dad some drugs to take, some pills and everything, and they have made him lose his appetite.
All right,
so he sometimes just doesn't feel hungry and everything. But it might come back to him, no doubt. I think there've been things where taken drugs and pills that got rid of the appetite, but then it comes back and you suddenly get a massive hankering for something.
Yeah, you do.
I could do with a ribeye steak.
Yeah. Do you ever sometimes have that though, where you're like on like visiting hours, and obviously like I think from the hospitals in the town sort of around where I grew up, the wards usually had about like 4 to 6 patients in total to a ward, and like visiting hours you'd like wander on, and of course it would be like it was kind of sometimes like it was like when you were at school and you like wander into a classroom to get something and everyone would like stare at you as you enter.
I remember that when I went to my granddad.
Indeed.
It's like, oh god, I hated that in school. I hated that. As
Can
everyone
you go and
looked
get
at
some
you
pens?
So you're an alien.
I
was like, oh no,
what
please
are you
don't
doing here?
Please don't let me do that.
Yes, indeed. You don't belong in set 6 English.
You'd walk into the room, and then there'd be some teacher who'd give it you straight away and like get out quick, and there's some who like start messing around, getting the you go in and I need to get some pens for Mrs. Doodlop's class. Yeah. Oh, do you now? Do you really? Have you not got any? Oh, honestly, like,
can you just give me the pens? Yeah,
give me the damn pens and let me go.
Yeah, don't make a song and dance about it.
Yeah, some teachers did that, some didn't.
Indeed. The worst one is if you were told to go and get something from one of the French classrooms, and the moment you walked in, the teacher would start speaking to you in French, and I'm like, I'm just here to get pens.
Yeah, we do. I'm not involved in this.
Yes, don't involve me in this foreign mumbo jumbo.
But yeah, hospital experiences are a strange one. Yeah, I do remember when I was went in fully. You've just got to. It's just being weird in the environment as well.
Yeah.
Because you're not sure quite what's happening.
Indeed.
Luckily, you've got all the nurses and everything around, and they're always dead helpful. You just can't fault the NHS.
Yeah. God. I remember my dad though once when he was in hospital for something. I can't actually really remember what it was. But like sometimes he was like telling us stories about the other patients on his ward, and he was just saying like some of them are just like such weird characters. Like I said, there was a guy in like the bed next to him who was there because he had something with his leg, and when he told my dad what it was, basically he'd been attacked by a dog and it had taken like a huge chunk out of his leg.
Ooh.
And apparently according to my dad, this guy was like sometimes like peeling back the bandage to look at it. It was like, dude, stop doing that. Good lord.
We don't want to see
like
that.
see the bone.
Oh god, it was that bad.
Yeah, it was that bad apparently.
Got to be careful with some things because things like rabies.
Yeah, exactly.
And some of the symptoms of rabies don't come up, and sometimes it can become too late.
Yeah, indeed. Absolutely, yes. God.
But at least we've both not really been in hospital for extremely serious things.
Indeed, yeah.
Like things, like you've fallen down, you become unconscious, or heart attacks, or cancer-related things, or.
The closest I've come to an operation in recent times, ladies and gentlemen, is going to my dentist to have a filling put in, and that's always a bit of a weird one. Where of course they put they sort of like do the. Like the
hokey cokey. That's what it's all
do
about.
The hokey cokey. Yeah. That's what it's all about. Yeah, in out, and all that. Shake it all about. No, they put like the anaesthetic paste on your gums and things like that to give you the injection.
Yeah,
like that.
Oh yeah, because I actually that a lot. Oh my god, isn't anaesthetic weird?
Yeah,
it's like it's weird because it's like everything's gone, and then you got the nurses who put it over your face, like, you're going to feel very sleepy soon, very sleepy, and all of a sudden it's just like bang,
you're out,
and then you woken up and you think, 2 minutes have just passed, and no, it's 5 hours later.
Indeed, yeah.
You're like, what?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever been put under a general anaesthetic like that before. At least not. Then again, maybe I was for my asthma attack, but I just don't remember it. But who knows?
Probably won't remember it.
Yeah,
I think you're designed not really to remember it.
Yeah, exactly. But God, yeah, I just. I remember from when I was having my filling put in last time I was back up north, and it's just like, I think I'm pretty sure like to help sort of get it in, he had to like put something through my gum. And of course, like obviously, because it's numbed, you don't feel it, but you can sort of like feel it with your tongue. It's just like really weird feeling. It's just like, strange. Yeah.
So how come you had to have a filling?
I think just because he was looking at because they obviously every so often they do X-rays of your teeth to check in case there's like like cavity things with certain teeth.
Mm-hmm.
I think he just noticed something with one of them that looked a bit sort of. I think it was like one of the back ones. Because I'll be honest, I've always had trouble sometimes like flossing the back teeth, just because it's always so awkward. I mean, luckily I found that in Boots these days now you can get these like special flossing devices where instead of like having to get like a strip
fuck around with flossing. Just get the toothbrush.
Yeah.
Just get an electric toothbrush on it. It's fine. That does me fine.
Yeah. But I found like in Boots you can get these like instead of like flossing normal like floss strips or tape, instead you can get like these little like disposable handheld things where instead of having to like wrap the a bit of the tape around your fingers and then very awkwardly stick your fingers in your mouth, instead it's like this device you can actually like just put into your mouth and get to the gaps in your teeth much more easily, and I find that that's actually a whole lot better for flossing and all that. Yes, but free advertisement for Boots flossers or whatever they're called. Indeed.
Good old Boots. It's a good little pharmacy.
Yeah.
Sure.
Indeed. Yes. But yes, hospital visits are always funny. I remember obviously for instance, when I first started out actually with hospital radio with you,
oh yes,
go for a walk around the hospital, yeah, at one point early on, and just like almost like going onto the wards, pretty much.
Yeah, that was an interesting, fun experience. That wasn't it, doing the hospital radio?
It was.
Yeah, our little hospital radio was in a sort of pokey place though,
yeah,
in the back of the hospital where you couldn't find it. But yeah, that's the whole point.
I remember once going in for a session of hospital radio, and I remember the station manager was in there because he'd been doing a show on a Sunday just before I came in, and basically, apparently there'd been like a leak from one of the wards above because you could see this big water stain on the ceiling.
Yes, I remember that. Yeah.
And then he said like it had happened partway through his show, so he'd had to finish his show early. And then I noticed while he was beavering around that the on-air light was still on, so technically the station had been sending out dead air for like an hour or something, and he hadn't noticed.
No.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
That was unfortunate, but yeah, so I pointed out to him. I said, "Is that light supposed to be on up there?" And he's like, "Nope, it's not." Crap. That means they've just been getting silence for however long. Yeah. Because I think probably just in the moment he just stressed out and just hadn't noticed it. But
honestly,
indeed,
that's not professional from a station manager.
Well,
I remember. Jeff. He was a very, very nice guy.
He was a good guy. Yeah.
He left in the end because he'd had enough of the radio.
Indeed. Jeff, old boy. There we are. Right.
I think mostly. I don't think every hospital does, but I think the majority do have a radio. Just gives the people in who are staying in just a little bit of something to listen to.
Indeed,
and help.
Yes.
But we did a stupid thing and decided to do a bit of E3.
Oh yeah.
When we did that, we decided to broadcast E3 through the hospital, and of course there are some
Devolver Digital. They were the freaking culprits.
Where they were swearing like mad.
Yeah, so we had to basically cut that off eventually because we just couldn't anticipate when they were going to start using bad language. So it was like, apologies everyone, we didn't anticipate this.
Yeah, but even some of the others were swearing like mad.
Because the thing is, like, you think that what you'll do is when you've got the mixing deck on that, you'll think that you'll anticipate when they're going to swear, so you can quickly like turn the volume down before they do. But in practice, like, there's no way you can really do it because they just sort of f-bomb every so often without expectation.
Yeah,
so it's just like, no, it doesn't happen. Yeah.
I don't know why it's still a taboo, swearing. I really don't. Because at the end of the day, they've put studies into it, found that swearing does actually lead to being less stressful.
Yeah,
and it helps
because you're getting it out. Yeah, indeed, you're getting it out your system, getting that stress out. Indeed.
Yeah. So it really needs to stop being thought of as taboo. It really does, because it's not that bad.
I mean, yeah, there's obviously some settings where you wouldn't want to swear anyway, but people don't necessarily need to make as big of a deal out of it as they necessarily do. At the end of the day, it is just a series of words that are often spoken in the heat of the moment and don't mean anything. I mean, that's not to say that sometimes there aren't situations where it isn't serious. There are sometimes situations where it is, but
you won't want to do it just suddenly at a funeral. Oh, for fuck's sake!
Stub your toe on the coffin. Shit!
Yeah.
Jeez, yes. Blooming heck, indeed. Oh, dearie me. Yeah. Well, there you go, folks. That was a little conversation primarily about hospital days, hospital visits.
Hospital stays, and yes, viewers, have you had to go into hospital for something? Was it something really serious or something not quite so bad that they managed to fix there and then and let you out? Have you actually had to spend the night in the hospital, which is always a very strange experience, being in the hospital beds and everything?
Indeed,
I will tell the viewers something as well, because it could require me to go into hospital, potentially have surgery. I've obviously got a little issue with my stomach. I get constant stomach aches and things like that, and it can be bad. So I'm waiting for the gastroenterologist to have a look at me. And there could be a potential for that one where I might have to go into hospital.
Well,
we'll just have to see on that one.
Indeed. So a little bit of stories there for you all watching and all that.
Tell us your hospital shenanigans.
Yes. And other than that, thanks for joining me, Phil, for another good Being Hunted session.
Yes, I do love and I know you've just uploaded a new one today.
Yeah,
so
I have.
Take a look at that one.
Indeed.
When I can.
That's the history, morals, and presentism one.
Right. Yes.
Went into quite a deep topic, but yes.
History. What's history? Who does
history then? Yeah, history. Well, boring subject, eh? No. Don't ever say that to me, ladies and gentlemen.
No.
Otherwise, you and I are going to have some very stern conversations. But Facebook, two links down below, along with the link to my propagandist channel for anyone interested. And if you enjoyed, a like is, of course, always appreciated, and all that.
Appreciated. Yes, indeed.
Indeed. Other than that, this is the two of us signing off now. Goodbye, everybody.
See you later.
Okay, how are we doing here? Oh my god, we've barely got any defences. Quickly, rebuild. Shit. That's it. Get them going. These flipping Zeppelins are doing a fair bit of damage, aren't they? We've got unit-wise over here. Oh god, that's ours. Oh god. They're not going to be able to take out the flipping Zeppelins, are they? That's the issue. Here they are. Oh god. They are. Oh fuck. These defences are going to go over to their side, aren't they? Okay, take that bloody thing out. Okay, we're doing a bit of damage to it, but not enough. Unless we can... Hold on. They're doing something to it. They're doing something to it. Might just take it down. Okay, that's that one, but the gas bag just entirely disappeared.